Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today we're going to spend some time unpacking the really remarkable career of an actor many of you will know well, the acclaimed Tristan Rogers. His recent passing, which was reported in a Fox News article on August 15th, 2025, it really marks the end of an era, especially I think for fans of long-running TV. Right. So our mission today, let's explore why his work resonated so deeply. What made him so compelling on screen for decades.
It's definitely a moment for reflection. Actors like Tristan Rogers, particularly when they're in these shows that run forever, they become more than just performers. They're almost like, familiar faces in your own home, part of the routine. And that kind of longevity, it fosters a connection that's pretty unique in entertainment.
That connection is absolutely key. The main news, as the Fox article detailed, is that Tristan Rogers passed away in '79. He'd been battling cancer. It's obviously very sad news for a lot of people. The reaction's been huge.
It really has. And what's striking, I think, is how news like this lands. It feels different, doesn't it? When an actor has been a constant presence week after week, sometimes for literally decades, people develop what, academics might call a parasocial relationship. It feels personal, like you genuinely know them, or at least the character. So the loss feels, surprisingly personal for many viewers.
That's a really interesting way to put it, that parasocial relationship. And when you mention Tristan Rogers, the first thing that probably comes to mind for most is Robert Scorpio. General Hospital. I mean, the numbers are just staggering. Over 1,400 episodes, starting way back in 1980. Think about that, 4 decades playing one character, on and off. And the character's path, wow. It was pure soap opera drama, wasn't it? He was actually killed off in 1992. Gone. Then, surprise, he shows up again in 95, but as a spirit. And then, the big one in 2006, turns out he wasn't dead after all. Found alive again. The article mentions his last appearance was just last November 12th, leaving town with his ex, Holly Sutton.
What's fascinating there is just how rare that kind of long-term character arc is, even with soaps loving those twists, the whole death and resurrection thing. It really shows how invested audiences get. They care about these characters like they're, distant relatives or something. You follow their ups and downs for years. That consistency, even with the crazy plots, builds this really deep bond.
You definitely see that depth of feeling in the statement from Frank Valentini, the executive producer at General Hospital. He put it on the show's official Instagram, said, the entire General Hospital family is heartbroken. Quote, Tristan has captivated our fans for more than 50 years, and Port Charles will not be the same without him, or Robert Scorpio. He sent sympathies to the family, called Tristan a one-of-a-kind talent who will be greatly missed. Ends with, may he rest in peace. Really heartfelt. And it's cool to hear what Rogers himself thought about playing Scorpio. There was a Soap Opera Digest interview back in 2018. He said, Robert has always had kind of a glib approach to everything. He's a bit of a smart mouth. He mentioned working with different people and said, oh yeah, and I think the fans are going to like it. He seemed to really get the character's, appeal. Oh, here's a fun little tidbit I stumbled on. During his time on GH, he actually worked alongside John Stamos and Demi Moore. Pretty cool, right?
It absolutely is. And it speaks volumes, actually. Daytime TV, especially back then, was a serious launching pad, but also just a place for really solid working actors. The pace is intense. You have to be disciplined, versatile. So yeah, seeing future huge stars alongside veterans like Rogers, not surprising at all. They were all honing their craft there.
He definitely showed that versatility himself. General Hospital was huge, obviously, but it wasn't his only major role. He jumped over to CBS for a while, played Colin Atkinson on The Young and the Restless, did nearly 200 episodes there between 2010 and 2012.
And think about that, stepping into another iconic, long-running soap and creating a whole new memorable character. That's tough. You're dealing with a different show, different audience expectations, same crazy pace. It really shows his skill, his adaptability as an actor. He clearly knew how to navigate that world.
For sure. And his range wasn't just limited to soaps or even live action. He did voice work, too. Remember Jake, the kangaroo mouse in Disney's The Rescuers Down Under? That was him. His whole career spanned, I think the article said, over 50 credits in total. That's a lot of work. And he got recognition for it, too, especially later on. He won a Daytime Emmy in 2020. He was for Outstanding Supporting Actor in a Digital Drama Series for Studio City. Those are the shows made for streaming, And then he was nominated again the next year for another digital series, The Bay. So, okay. We've talked about his career, the impact. When you step back and think about someone like Tristan Rogers, what does it all mean for you listening right now? As someone who watches shows, connects with these stories, what can we take away from a legacy like his?
Well, if we kind of connect this to the bigger picture, Rogers' career is this perfect example of that unique bond we were talking about. that deep connection forged over decades between an actor and the audience, especially in daytime. It underlines how these characters, these familiar faces, week after week, they do more than just entertain us. They become sort of constants, comforting figures in a way. His legacy isn't just the roles, it's how those roles became woven into the daily lives of so many people for so long. A familiar thread.
It really makes you wonder, doesn't it?
Yeah.
How do actors like Tristan Rogers, the ones who stick with these characters for so long, how do they become such a unique part of our collective memory? Almost like, yeah, a source of comfort in a world that's always changing. What does the sheer longevity of a character like Robert Scorpio, flaws and resurrections and all, tell us about maybe our own human need for continuity?
Your connection.
For just having someone familiar stick around, even if it's just on screen, definitely something to think about.